Some people are just born to podcast. And I
are a professional.
I am one of those people who is not.
Welcome to AT Banter, the podcast where we discuss anything and everything regarding the world of assistive technology. With our hosts, Steve Barkley, Rob Minot, and Ryan Fleury. Now, let's banter.
Hey, and welcome to yet another episode of AT Banter. I am Rob Minot. With me today is Ryan Fleury.
Howdy.
And Steve Barkley.
Good day, sir.
And we're way too peppy today.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
It's caffeine.
It's the caffeine and probably the snow.
It's cold out.
Could be.
It is super cold out. I actually had to break out the winter jacket, like for real.
Yeah, by the way, for anybody who might be listening to us from someplace where it actually gets cold, cold here means -1.
It's supposed to be
Celsius.
-7 tonight.
Ooh, goodness.
Oh, I know. I was talking to my mom. It's -24 right now in Edmonton.
Anybody from the central part of the continent is just looking at us and going, what a pack of wussies.
That's right.
Yeah, we're not getting any sympathy from the East Coast.
No.
I couldn't even get the car door open this morning. It was frozen shut.
Egads.
I'm sad.
Terrible.
Well,
what are we doing today, Rob?
what are we doing today? Well, I know what we're not doing today. We're not talking to Rick Hansen.
Nope.
That's true. Should we talk about that? Should we admit what happened?
We actually already did. We did a little banter bit yesterday where we were just like, well...
Let's throw Ryan under the bus.
No, I'm telling you, Ryan didn't get thrown under the bus. He climbed under it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was classic.
Won't happen again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's Stevie Wonder.
Steve Wonder.
Steve Wonder. WUND.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. No.
Makes you wonder. I wonder if there is a Steve Wonder.
Oh, probably.
Oh, almost guaranteed.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah. Should we try?
Sure, why not? We just start getting knockoffs. We can't get the actual people. We'll just get people in our name.
That's right.
Do you have a disability? Nope. Why are you on the show? No idea.
I don't know.
Because my name's Steve Wonder.
Well, it's even funny. You go back and read the email thread. I think there were clues sprinkled in that we all missed.
Yeah.
So
I didn't see the email thread.
yeah, I did. And I was like Ryan. I was just like, cool. Like he said yes.
That's right.
You just sort of skim to where it just says yes. Anyways.
Well, and I got his home number in California. Like, this guy was more than forthcoming with information. He was all gung-ho to be on the show.
Yeah, see, that should have
just sucked us in.
Well, I think that should have probably been a red flag. All right. Well, we should start to talk about what the heck we're doing today.
We should.
All right. Well, today we are happy to welcome to our little show Uday Parshionikar, who is the founder and CEO of Perceptive Devices. Perceptive Devices has been doing research and development in the field of human-computer interaction for several years and has developed a software package called Smyle Mouse, which essentially allows for the hands-free control of a computer using only facial movements. And I do also believe that he has some other things in the works as well that perhaps we'll touch on later. In any case, thanks for being with us today, Uday.
Sure. You're most welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
Great. Well, let's start the proceedings, maybe getting a little bit of an idea of what your background is, what you went to school for, or how you got started in the field.
Sure. So I'm really a mechanical engineer by education, but I've always been very fascinated with computers. So about 32 years ago, I got into software development, and that's how I started my career. So that was right after my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. But I wanted to do more, so I decided to do master's in mechanical engineering, but using computers for solving mechanical engineering problems. And so that's what brought me to the United States. So I got my initial education in India. I came to the US and I got my master's. And I came to Cincinnati, Ohio to work for a dream company, doing both mechanical engineering and software at the same time.
Right.
And I did that for a while, and I moved around, even worked for a health insurance company. But I realized that at heart, what I was about inventing things. That's what got me into mechanical engineering. That's what got me fascinated into computer programming. I always wanted to do something, design something new, invent new stuff. So that's what actually got me into what I'm doing today. I was mentoring my son, who was getting ready to get into high school, in his science fair project. And that's when the idea came up. He came up with the initial idea saying that, hey, what if we could play computer games and even control the computer without using any hands? And you probably remember about 6 years or so ago, Nintendo Wii was quite popular.
Yeah.
And so my son wanted to, do something like that, but control the game with the head motions. And I looked at it as I was mentoring him, and I thought that the idea was very powerful, and it was not just for fun and games, but it also was for helping people with disabilities. There were all kinds of applications, you could apply that to. So 6 years ago, I decided to do it full time, and that's how I jumped into this. I started this company called Perceptive Devices, and that's how the adventure began.
And so, when you first started, what exactly did you have a sense of what kind of a product that you wanted to develop, or was it always going to be software, or what was the initial idea?
Yeah, like I said, the initial idea came from doing motion sensing using hardware. So the initial research and development we did was more using some kind of a wearable device that you would wear on your head, either mount it on your hat or cap, or even clip onto your side of your glasses, your regular eyeglasses. So it started from there, and we did a whole bunch of research and development. We even started doing patenting, filing for patents and all that. We came up with this idea of, hey, maybe we should also use facial expressions along with head motions, because that gives that's a very potent combination, we believe. So we started doing that, and then realized that, it's really not about wearable devices. You shouldn't have to wear something on your head or on your face. You should be able to do everything we are talking about in terms of using facial expressions and head motions without using wearables, where those expressions could be captured by a regular video camera. So that's what led to Smyle Mouse, and we started focusing on that aspect as well. And lo and behold, the first product we came out with that is out in the open and available commercially is the Smyle Mouse, which is a software-only product that you can just download to your Windows device, and that uses your webcam to monitor the facial expressions and facial gestures along with head motions of the user, and gives complete mouse control on the device that you're trying to control.
And how long did that take to develop?
Well, we've been working on it in bits and pieces, so it started several years ago. But last couple of years, we've been really pushing hard on it. So finally, in May of this year, end of May, we had the first release of the product. And even after the first release, we have been making a lot of changes. So it's getting better and better, literally, every week. So I think it's never going to stop because there's so many ideas we're getting. We're getting such great feedback from our users. So there's always something more to do and make it even better and more powerful and easy and efficient.
What type of training is involved to learn how to use the Smyle Mouse?
Actually, very little. Very little. Just yesterday, for example, we did a test run with someone who had never seen anything like Smyle Mouse, and they were up and running in like 10 minutes. So it was very quick. And this gentleman, he has almost no control over his arms. So they were still able to jump in, and they watched me for a few minutes, and they did not even look at the tutorial videos. And literally in about 10 minutes, they were up and running.
Is it specifically facial movements, or are there things like blinks incorporated into the software, or is it just smiles and facial movements in specifically?
Well, yeah. So right now we are going with the smile, facial expression, and facial movements as the primary mechanisms. But if you download the software and play with it, you will notice that there's much more than that being monitored and being captured. So we are definitely planning to expand out to other facial expressions as well, hopefully pretty soon. So to answer your question, right now it's only smiles and motions of your head, but we'll be expanding out to other facial expressions pretty soon.
What kind of challenges did it really pose when you first started the development cycle?
It is a complex problem. Talking about computer science, basically the web camera is looking at the user, and it streams that information in a series of zeros and ones, millions and millions of those every second. So making sense of that stream of data and figuring out where the user is, and not just where they are, but what are they doing? What are their facial expressions? And doing that multiple times a second so that you can capture their facial expressions with reliability and speed and accuracy. You need to do that many, many times a second to provide a very responsive kind of a control. If you want to have a quick response, then you have to churn all this information out very, very quickly. So that was a challenge. Then other challenges, we want to do it without using too much of CPU time. So that took a lot of work as well. Thirdly, everybody's face is different. Thankfully, we don't all look like everybody else.
Right.
So figuring out, hey, okay, when is a particular user smiling? Everybody's smile looks different. So initially we had some challenges around that. That's some people's smile would look at a particular way, other people's look different. So we had to do some work, a lot of work actually, to recognizing different people's smiles and at the same time making the software very easy. If you try our software, you will notice it takes 10 seconds or even less to do a calibration for the software to figure out your level of smiles. And so calibrating your level of smile. It's a very quick process. And all you need to do is be in front of the camera and hold your smile for about a second or two. And that is sufficient. So that was another challenge, to making the smile detection very clean and very quick and reliable and very fast, so that with the smallest of the smile expression, you could convey your user intent to the computer when it comes to moving your mouse or clicking and dragging, scrolling and things like that. All those things can be done using your smile.
Interesting. So right now, this is just available on the Windows platform. Do you have plans to release it for other platforms?
Yeah, right now it is just on the Windows platform, and we definitely have plans for other platforms as well.
And presumably, since you're using a webcam, this is probably fairly sensitive to lighting conditions. Does it work well under low light?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I had mentioned, I forgot mentioning that challenge. So lighting conditions are another big challenge. It could be low light, it could be too much of light, or it could be too much of backlight. So we had to make our algorithms strong to be able to handle those kind of challenges. Now, we are also constrained by what kind of camera your tablet has. And personally, I always had this goal that the software should be useful for as many people as possible. And there should be as few requirements on the CPU as well as the camera resolution. So literally, a camera with a resolution of about 240 pixels or so, 240 by 240, that is sufficient of a camera for us. The computer I use is a Microsoft Surface tablet, which is at least 3 years old, if not more. It is one of the very first ones. So again, it's very, very modest CPU requirements and very modest resolution requirements on the web camera. The only thing is that the camera needs to have auto exposure capability, which typically all the modern webcams have. In fact, my 3 or 4 year old tablet has a very capable webcam in it that it's able to work even with low light situations.
How about things like skin tone, hair color? If somebody has a beard or a mustache, does that affect it at all?
Skin tone, color, race, gender, age does not matter. So now, if someone has a lot of facial hair, and if the lips are not visible, then I've heard feedback that that initially it had a little bit of trouble because their lips weren't fully visible, but they did a little bit trimming around their mustaches, and that was sufficient. The moment their lips are visible and their eyes are visible, and the area between, basically the area between your eyebrows and your mouth, if that's fairly visible to the camera, then that is sufficient. So you can be even turning your head a little bit side to side, up and down, as long as the camera can see both your irises, the dark parts of your eyes, and your lips, then typically that's more than sufficient.
So it sounds like the software really does, it looks at much more than just your mouth. I mean, when you smile, we just kind of think that, oh, okay, well, all you have to really be looking at is the lips. But I guess the software is tracking, the eyes, the cheekbones, the cheeks, as well as the lips. Is that right?
Yes, it's trying to track the whole face, but it gets the best hints if your eyes are visible, your eyebrows are fairly visible, if not completely visible, and your lips are visible, as well as your nose. So that's why I like to say anything between your eyebrows to middle of your chin. So, just below your lips. That typically is sufficient.
How many data points altogether is it tracking?
It's tracking dozens of data points. I do not want to disclose exactly how many.
Okay, fair enough.
A lot.
A lot.
So how big was your development team?
Pretty much it was myself and some consultants, part-time consultants I've been using. Again, as I mentioned, my son also, it started with my son's science fair project, so he also helped me out. So it's a very small team, but, we've been thinking about this problem for almost 6 years. So we've been trying to attack this issue in many different ways, and that's how we came up with the idea of using facial expressions as well as head motions for providing the complete mouse control. And we already have a patent granted by the U.S. government, and we have many more patents in the pipeline as well.
And I mean, I'm imagining after 6 years, you are probably an expert on what happens to the face when somebody smiles.
There's a lot of scientific research which talks about how good the act of smiling is for us human beings. I like to say smiling is really a blessing for us. There's scientific studies that have shown that when we smile, and it doesn't matter if you meant to smile, whether you were happy or not, but if you just smile, you start feeling good because the brain starts generating these hormones and endorphins, which make us feel good, but also reduce our blood pressure, reduce our heart rate even. So simple act of smiling has those physical and mental benefits. So in fact, in one of the studies, what they did was they had the test subjects hold a chopstick in their mouths. And if you can imagine it, when you hold a chopstick or a pencil in your mouth, you have to pull back the corners of your lips.
Right.
And that action of pulling back the corners of your lips causes the brain to start generating those endorphins that make us feel good and that impart all those good physical effects. So that was another reason why we focused on the smiling action, because not only it is one of the biggest facial expressions that can be captured on a human face, it's also easy to do. And it also provides those positive benefits to people who are smiling.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, smiling does feel a lot more natural than any other facial movement. I mean, if you try to frown, frowning is actually harder than smiling.
It is.
Unless you're Steve.
And in fact,
thanks.
Just kidding.
So sometimes, I'll be testing my software and I'll be smiling, and I work from the home office. So sometimes my wife will walk into the office room and she will start smiling because she sees me smiling, and she's like, "Oh, you look happy." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm just testing my software. So
I think in the wake of your election, we need to get your software on every mobile platform out there. Get the entire country smiling for a change.
That's true. What has the response been to the software?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like I mentioned, even yesterday, while I was testing it with one of the potential users, and this gentleman has been using the sip and puff switch.
Yep.
And the sip and puff switch, they told me that it literally sometimes takes 20 minutes just to set it up just right. And then using it was very cumbersome to this particular person. And worse, since he could not talk, he could only use his lip and mouth motions to communicate with his nurse, and the sip and puff would get in the way. And when he started using Smyle Mouse, and he literally got up to speed in 10 minutes, and all of a sudden he realized that, he can talk to his nurse using his lip motions without any hindrance. So I heard from another person, he had quadriplegia, and he said that he previously could use his computer only 30 minutes in a day. And that too, he had to be dependent on somebody else. And now he uses the computer for more than 8 hours, 8.5 hours a day.
Wow.
Because of Smyle Mouse, because now they are completely independent. I've had other people using the computer on the bed while lying on their side. So when they're laying in the bed on one side, they also turn the computer sideways, the tablet sideways, and then they use Smyle Mouse. So the feedback is really good. It's very encouraging. I think right now the challenge we have is that being a very tiny company, getting the word out to people that there is such a product. It's a very unique product and can be really useful to a lot of people. So it's no longer so much of a technical challenge. My biggest challenge now is getting the word out and the marketing aspects of it.
What's the cost of the software?
So the retail price is $499. But what we are trying to do is we want to help as many people as we can. So we have a huge discount going on, has been going on for a while, most of the time. So 50% off, a little bit more than 50% off. So it's right now selling for $249 per device. But that rate, that discount is valid only for people who are going to use it for personal use. So if you are a quadriplegic, or if you have carpal tunnel syndrome and you want to use it for your own benefit, then you can have that 50% discount. Now, if you are a multinational company or a large company with, and you want to help your employees who might be having carpal tunnel or arthritis, if you are that kind of a company and if you're buying it for your employees, then you have to pay the full price. Unless you're going to buy hundreds of those, and then we can talk about volume pricing. So the normal price is $499 US dollars, but heavily discounted for personal usage, for individual purchases.
Great.
Excellent.
What's next? Where do you see gesture control technology going?
Oh, I think it has tremendous applications. You probably heard this before, and I really believe this, that when you design technology for accessibility, most often it ends up helping everybody.
Yep.
So, there are already a lot of examples, whether it's voice recognition, or whether it's text to voice, generating voice based on text, text to speech, or whether it's even simple things like cutting ramps into the curbs next to the roads, so that people with wheelchairs can get on or off the sidewalks. All those things, end up helping way more people than initially what the intended audience was.
Right.
And I think that's very true with our gesture control technology. For example, Smyle Mouse, there's no reason you couldn't use it while playing games. In fact, a lot of my demo videos are playing games like Angry Birds. So definitely you can use this kind of technology while playing games. Other application is augmented reality or virtual reality and mixed reality. you probably heard about Google Glasses.
That's right.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right. So just think about that, right? You basically wearing your computer on your face, which is in form of glasses, and there's a little bit of a display screen right in front of your glasses. So it's a full computer. Now, how are you going to control that computer? And there are ways of controlling that, but they all need hands. So, for example, some of those augmented reality glasses, they need you to carry a little box that looks like a touchpad, basically, and you use your fingers to control the mouse on this computer that is sitting on your face.
Right.
Or in other smart glasses, you have to stick out your arm in front of your face and do gestures with your hands and fingers and to control the mouse on the screen. But, you can very easily achieve the same effect using simple motions of your head and simple facial expressions like raising your eyebrows or smiling. So all that can be captured using your smart glasses, both the head motions as well as facial expressions, and can be used to provide complete control over augmented reality smart glasses or even virtual reality for that matter. So all of a sudden, you can use this hands-free gesture control technology to not only help disabled people, but add to the productivity, the convenience, or even the safety of hundreds of thousands of people who would be pretty soon starting to use these augmented reality and mixed reality glasses. There are just limitless amount of applications.
Yeah,
for example, think about a surgeon, right? Let's say a surgeon is performing surgery on a patient, and they are using these augmented reality glasses to look at various patient information. But now, if they want to see more information, radiological information or historical information, how do they control these glasses? They are not allowed to touch anything for a variety of reasons. Their hands are also occupied. They might be actually holding the tools in the hands and literally have blood on their gloves.
Right.
So in these situations, it's much convenient to use simple facial expressions, facial gestures to have complete control over your computer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you get the sense that wearable tech is really going to be the next revolution.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the mixed reality stuff is going to be really interesting because I can see a time where people are walking around wearing glass type devices and smiling and catching Pokemon all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, even let's say you're a commuter, taking a bus or a train, some kind of public transport, and often it's very crowded. You could be standing while traveling, and your hands might be occupied, holding your briefcase or holding on to some handlebar. And if you're wearing these augmented reality glasses, then you could be doing Facebook, you could be reading your emails, you could be doing all kinds of things without other people realizing what you are doing. You could be doing all those complete operations on your computer, which is in form of your glasses, and really catching up on things without in a very private fashion. It takes only very subtle smiles and gentle head motions for you to perform those facial expressions.
Well, I know I commute every morning on our rapid transit system, and there could definitely be some more smiles on the SkyTrain. It would definitely
rapid transit system.
Well, sometimes rapid, somewhat rapid.
I would like to encourage people to go to our website, smilemouse.com, and that is smile spelt with a Y, SMYLE, mouse.com. And just download that software and play with it. We provide you a 14-day free trial, so there's nothing to lose. And you might just, in the worst case, you will have some extra smiles on your face.
That's right. And we'll include a link in our show notes to smilemouse.com as well. But we'd encourage anyone to go to the website, check it out, download it, and play with it.
And smile.
You'll feel better.
Absolutely.
Free endorphins.
We should really get that software for Rick, our service manager.
Absolutely.
The grumpiest person in the world.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me, hey, what if I cannot smile? So my answer to him was, well, all the more reason for you to download a Smyle Mouse and getting some practice.
That's right.
But one of the neat things you will notice when you play with this software is that when you smile, it actually shows a smile meter on the screen. So the software shows you what the camera can see. So you can see yourself, but on the side of the display, just like a thermometer, where according to the temperature, the level of the mercury goes up and down.
Right.
There's a smile meter shown. And as you smile more, it lights up more. When you smile less, it lights less. And when you stop smiling, it doesn't light anymore. So that some people, find a lot of amusement just watching that smile meter go up and down.
See, for somebody who can't smile, they just need a tickle assistant. They just need somebody behind them to tickle them.
Yeah.
Or if your smile goes all the way up, it unlocks an Easter egg or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Earn rewards.
Or if it goes below a certain level, you get a shock. See, we need to develop that software for Rick. That's how we train him to smile more. All right. Uday, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out to me and giving me an opportunity to talk about Smyle Mouse and Perceptive Devices.
Fantastic. And it sounds like we'll be talking again soon.
I certainly hope so.
All right.
We will. Okay, Uday.
Thanks so
Take
much.
care.
Thanks again. Take care.
Talk soon.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, you think about it, there's been all these hardware products that have done things like this based on head movement. This is the first thing that I've seen that's completely done with software.
Yeah, and I would think that it's probably a little bit easier to use in that sense than something like eye gaze. I would think eye gaze can be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, of course, eye gaze is used when somebody can't move their head. This is used when somebody can.
Right.
So,
yeah,
there's the differentiation there. But yeah, it works pretty well. I've had a chance to sit down and play with it, and it tracks your head movement. It clicks when you smile.
Oh, so you did play with it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you think that it would ever get to a point where you could marry like something like Smyle Mouse and an eye gaze system, like so that you could use sort of all aspects of your face to control?
I don't think so because,
I guess there's too much to track for the software in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, the eye gaze systems are very specific in what they're looking at. They're looking right at your retina, right? They're trying to track the movement of your eye based on the reflection off your retina. Whereas the Smyle Mouse is tracking your head and key features like, the shape of your mouth, the eyebrows,
right,
that sort of thing.
And I guess that would probably be overkill anyways, because you wouldn't necessarily need, all the different ways of tracking movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Was the Smyle Mouse quite speedy, quite accurate?
Yeah, pretty responsive.
Yeah.
It actually was. It performed similarly to a lot of hardware products that I've played with. So yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to get it to click. I was sitting there grinning at it like an idiot for a while, but you actually have to do just kind of a quick smile, and then it does a click.
Cool.
I was sitting there, with the big grin on my face, going, "It's not clicking! It's not clicking!"
Excellent.
I'm so happy.
That's right.
Steve's had a permagrin all day. What's going on in his office?
That's right.
That's right.
I don't smell smoke.
That's right. This product may not work well for stoners because it just keeps clicking. I can't stop smiling. Yeah, it might not be a good Vancouver product.
Yeah. They can't stop, but they've opened 700 applications.
That's right. Keep opening windows.
I think we got some ad software installed on my computer. Like windows keep popping open.
Right. All right. Well, Ryan,
Rob,
where can people find us?
atbanter.com.
People can also email us at atbanterpodcast@gmail.com.
All right.
That is correct, Rob.
Woohoo.
Woo! 29 episodes.
You know, they can also find us on Facebook
They can, and Twitter. Very popular.
And YouTube,
and Google Plus,
if they must.
but not Pinterest.
Not Pinterest at all, or Instagram, or Snapchat.
No, we don't want nothing to do with Pinterest. You hear me, Pinterest? We're boycotting you.
We don't understand you, and we're scared of you.
That's right.
Excellent. Well, what the heck are we up to next week, Ryan?
I don't know. I don't even know where the hell we're at now.
Yeah, I don't know. This month
Today's throwing me off.
This winter is going by so fast. I can't even. I'm still reeling at the fact that it's the first week of December. So what?
Hang on, let me think.
Middle of December. What did we have lined up?
Oh, next week. Isn't that Blind Film Critic?
Oh, that's right. Yes, we got Tommy Edison.
I booked a Blind Film Critic. Yeah.
Have you seen any of his videos?
I have, actually. I'd seen some of his stuff posted on Facebook before.
Yeah, me too.
Before it came up as a guest idea.
Yeah. That's super exciting.
I think that's who I have.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm right.
That is really super cool.
Yeah, I have to watch a couple of his videos today.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really good. He's a really funny guy. I think it's going to be a good show.
Cool.
And then I think the week after that, of course, is the Christmas show.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, that's the Secret Santa show.
The Secret Santa / the debut of Ryan's Christmas song. That's right. It's official.
There we go.
We've announced it.
Wow. Pressure's on.
The pressure's. You better go home and practice.
I'm going to have to.
You guys better start bringing your guitars in. Maybe you should do a round every couple of rehearsals.
Maybe you should send me the words and chords, and I'll. Or do you have them written down?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll look into some peripheral instruments for the rest of us to
get Rick a kazoo.
Kazoo. So maybe some jingle bells and I don't know what else. You're the arranger. What else?
Cowbell.
A cowbell?
Sure.
Okay.
Always use more cowbell.
I don't know where to get a cowbell. Okay, it's fine. I'll go to Abbotsford. I'll go loot a farm.
I have a picture of you running around in the field chasing cows.
Come here, cow. Come here. I need your bill.
It's for Christmas, damn it.
I'll bring it back. They're $30 in the store.
Yes. I can just picture it.
Yep.
Rob galloping through the fields chasing the cow.
Right. It'll just turn into a new Christmas tradition. It's the Christmas chasing of the cow. Doesn't everybody do this?
Oh,
there's a song in there somewhere.
Did you guys see on Facebook the, I think it was from Bulgaria, the spinning dogs?
No.
Okay, so there's this old tradition. It's somewhere in Eastern Europe. It might not be Bulgaria, but so it's banned now, but people still do it. And what they do is they take a dog and they put it between a couple of ropes and they spin it around until it's all. Sorry. First they spin the rope around so it's all tangled up.
Right.
Then they take the dog and they put it in the loop of the rope.
Right.
And they might tighten it up a little bit more.
Right.
Then they let go of the dog, and the dog goes spinning around until the rope uncoils.
Right.
So you spin it around in a circle, and then when the thing comes undone, the dog falls out and lands in a puddle of water. It's done to ward off evil spirits.
Oh, jeez.
Now, the only thing I can figure is that the evil spirits who see this go, these people are screwed.
Well, I don't know. Bulgaria's it's come out pretty well over the years, so
Again, I don't know that it's Bulgaria. It might not be Bulgaria. Don't mean to malign Bulgaria.
Well, there's dog spitting, cow tipping. There's all sorts of different cultural
and the dog could
behaviors out there.
I don't know that you could call cow tipping cultural.
But we digress. Okay, well, that's going to about do it for us then. I have been Rob Minot.
And I've been Ryan.
Just Ryan.
Just Ryan.
I'm
just Ryan.
You're going to be like Prince.
I'm number 8.
And I'll be Steve Barkley.
We will see everybody next week.
Ryan's losing it.
This podcast has been brought to you by Aroga Technologies. Visit Aroga Technologies online at www.aroga.com. That's AROGA.com. Music provided by bensound.com.